So I thought I'll share the growth system that I use when I walk into companies and help them grow their e-commerce as it happens to be. So, well, it's got the popular tree growth system on it simply because it runs through the company. And what you need is that you need to start to create a team that just focus on growth. And if you are a small company or a small agency, you can have this as a virtual team. Maybe once a week, you come together with new hats on, new roles. You don't have to go and hire people, but that time, you then just focus on growth. You then run what I call the growth hacking cycle, should be run every week, or every other week, depending on what kind of business you're in. And then this needs to go fast. So we always support it with something we call speed analytics. So here are the steps of the growth hacking cycle. First of all, the pipeline of ideas. As I said, you need at least 100. Some people I know and been talking to, they say, oh yeah, we got 200, we got 300, so okay, there might just be an extra thing to have on the list. But the important thing is that you never come to a week and say, oh, what are we going to test? I don't know. You always need to have that ready. But as I said, you need 100 ideas. How do you get 100 ideas? Well, there are systems for that, of course. You need to get the data, if that be from your analytics software or from other places, and you need to get your customer feedback. From experience working with e-commerce, you need to make sure that you always get data from a Net Promoter Score, the user surveys, usability testing, also work within the team, as mentioned before, cross-functional collaboration, speak to the developers. They might know some cool technique that's coming out and it's just enable a new feature. Or you might talk to someone who really knows the product inside out. There will always be new ideas. And of course, industry research from today. So it is then time for the growth team to assemble. And that's done in a weekly growth meeting. And the most important thing here is to prioritize which tests you launch each week. Then, of course, you need to share the progress on the ongoing test. You need to inform the team about the learnings from completed tests, because you always learn something. And when you learn something, you need to share that information. And then suddenly, your company or your agency is becoming better. And then you will come up with better and new ideas. So next, one of the most important things, test in high tempo. I cannot stress it more. On average, just to give a number to it, on average I suggest you should have at least 3 tests a week. That depends on your business and what kind of test you're running, of course. But there is a little formula here, and that is the faster you test, the faster you learn, and therefore the faster you grow. So you can simplify that with the speed of test equal the speed of growth. So the more things you can get in there, the more you can learn. And it's important to understand, because not all tests is going to be successful, and you can stand here on this stage and talk about how much you grew. Some of them is going to just flop, and it's going to say, well, that was terrible. But that is just as important, because imagine if you've implemented something that was going to flop. That declines your growth. So in theory, you have actually accelerated your growth by stopping the things that's going to go bad.